no, it's okay because Jesus sat with sinners. Jesus sat with sinners. Okay, first of all, I don't think you should be comparing Jesus Christ, Lord of the universe, and the crowd he surrounded himself with to you and the crowd you're surrounding yourself with like it's a one-to-one scenario. But if you really want to talk about Jesus sitting with sinners, let's talk about it. Okay, Jesus might have sat with sinners, but he wasn't sinning with sinners. You and I, we are easily influenced by other people. We are easily influenced by our flesh. Jesus Christ was what? Oh, yes, sinless and wasn't going to be influenced by their sin. Number two, Jesus wasn't just hanging out with sinners. He was ministering to sinners. And number three, after Jesus was done sitting with sinners, they were no longer considered sinners, but were considered saved. So unless you can honestly say that every time you surround yourself with a bad crowd, you are number one, not being influenced by their sin, number two, ministering the word of Jesus Christ to them, and number three, they are finding Jesus through you, then stop using Jesus to justify your bad crowd of people. Now don't even start with the, she's saying we can't be friends with unbelievers. That is not what I'm saying at all. All I am saying is you need to be very careful about the people you're surrounding yourself with, okay? 1 Corinthians 15:33 says bad company corrupts good character. All throughout the Bible, we read again and again and again, hey, be careful who you're surrounding yourself with. Who you surround yourself with is who you're going to become. If you only surround yourself with non-believers, then none of your decisions are going to be based on God, and that is a dangerous place to be. I promise you that a friend who calls you out on your sin loves you a whole lot more than a friend who drags you into sin, okay? Just watch who you're hanging out with. That is all that I'm saying.
Until you overcome, number one, gossip, and number two, offense, you're going to always get ate up in your workplace. Let me give you an example. So I was working with this young man on my management team, and we had got pretty close. So he was kind of like the type of guy that, you know, felt like he was your boss. Like, felt like he could tell you what to do. He would tell members on the team what to do, except for he didn't hold the position to do that. Now, that used to get on people's nerves, but for me, it didn't really bother me. However, I am the type of friend to tell you where you kind of need to correct and where you need to draw back. But I'm also the type of friend that's going to tell you like, hey, this is where you shine right here. This right here, amplify that because this is where you shine. This is the light in this area. But I would tell him, hey, we just going to say his name, Peter. So I used to be like, hey, Peter, you know what I'm saying? I understand that, you know, you like to take charge and you like to take initiative, but you got to be careful with that because it does get on people's nerves. Half of us don't even like to take instructions from our bosses who are in that position. So you know they're not going to want to take instructions from somebody who really ain't their boss for real. So you probably want to watch that so you don't run into so much conflict about that. So I was honest about that. All the management, we all in the office. So everybody starts to voice their opinion about Peter. So they like, oh my God, he's so annoying. He think he everybody boss. He finna get chunked off. He don't tell me what to do. See, they're just getting into it. So I'm around it and they included me in the conversation. And I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, he has his moments where he do too much, but his heart is in the right spot. He just the type that like to take initiative, but not too much on my boy. He don't be meaning no harm for real, for real. Y'all, I shouldn't even said that. Tell me why when it got back to him, they wanted to say that I was the ringleader of the conversation. Tell me why when it got back to him, they said that I said way more than what I did not say. Tell me when it got back to him, they said I was like, he need to sit down. He getting on everybody's nerve. Woo, 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 woo. Y'all, I said nothing of the such. And I can laugh about this now, but at the time, I was 38 hot. This is exactly why you need to close your mouth. The Bible say, let your words be yea and nay. Not only that, when you going after peace in your workplace, you have to go after it aggressively. So the fact that they was doing all that, I should have removed myself from that situation because I could have. And God had been dealing with me about keeping my mouth closed. So if you struggle with gossip, baby, Proverbs is going to tell you how nasty gossiping is, and it's going to tell you how God view gossiping. That alone is enough to convict you and make you want to turn away from it and seek his help in it. Number two, James make it very clear that you're going to need divine intervention. You're going to need God's help to tame your tongue because it's naturally evil. And speaking of James, James is also talking about the taming of the tongue. If you're struggling in that area, just like I was, you're going to have to stand on a scripture and let your prayers be, God, help me to tame my tongue. Let my words be yea and nay. God, give me the counsel and give me the discernment that when I see it coming, I know how to avoid it. God, help me to not only recognize, but turn away when the Satan tries to get me out of your will to gossip and into his will to operate in his liking. As we already know, once you get caught gossiping, that conviction, you feel bad. You don't feel good. Have you ever said something or said a little bit too much than what you were supposed to say? Then when you walked out, you were like, I shouldn't have said that. But jumping back into the story, So I finally see Peter, and then he's like, no, you know what I'm saying? They told me what you said, and they said you said, and I'm trying to get it right with him. Or like, no, I do apologize because I shouldn't even said that. But they put way more on it than what it was. Like, I would not say all of that about you, and we cool like that. However, it ended our friendship, and he began to operate in number 2, offense. So much so that it would be assignments that he needed help with that I would be willing to help him with, but because he had so much pride and he was operating in offense, he wouldn't ask me for help. So it would cause him to overwork his body and add, 2 to 4 more hours on to what he was doing. Also, every time I would see him, it was pressure. Now, he didn't say anything to me, but his whole attitude and mood had changed and shift. When we were cool, it was light energy. It was fresh energy. Now it was just, you could feel that tension and you could feel that offense in the room between us. That's why you also have to watch out for offense, because the devil will use offense to steal your peace in the workplace. He wants you to sit back and just feed it and thinking about how somebody did you this way and thinking about how they was talking about you in the break room and he just because it doesn't really, if you notice, when you operate in the spirit of offense, it don't do nothing but make you mad. It don't lead to no type of resolve, no type of growth, no type of endpoint at all. Just have you fire hot throughout your whole work shift, even from the time you pull up to the parking lot to the time you pull out of the parking lot. And if you are struggling with offense or hypersensitivity, let your prayer be, Lord, help me to focus on things that's light and that's pure and that's godly. Let my thoughts be your thoughts. Let my heart be your heart. Let my thoughts become in agreement with your will. God, release me from the shackles of offense so I don't take it out on my brothers and my sisters, and I can operate in your will instead of aligning with Satan's plan for destruction of my life and my emotions and my mental health. Because it is so easy to be offended in the workplace. Sometimes you get offended in the workplace and they don't even mean to offend you. That's just what it is to deal with other people. Then Satan have those that he used separately just to sit back for that 8-hour shift to see how they can irritate and agitate you. While you are in the workplace, make sure you are rebuking and binding that spirit of gossip. If you struggle with gossip, everybody don't. And if you struggle with offense, make sure you rebuking and binding that spirit up too and standing on scripture. Because in my experience with the workplace, those are the main 2. We're going to get into the other ones, but that gossip and being offended, those are the 2 main categories that I see a lot of people fall into. It's not worth it. It's Satan. He behind it all. He wants to distract you and rob you of your peace in the workplace.